Hello, good to see you. I'm starting this webinar. I'm Lucas Hayes. I'm CEO at Zygon and I'm CIO at Analytics 2050. Both companies are specialized in data analytics. Zygon is a Brazilian company. Analytics 2050 is an American company. I'm here today because everybody wants to use data in your own organization. I have a number. 97% of all organizations says that they want to use data analytics to make better results, but they don't know how to do that. And this is the main topic of our conversation today. And I'll have this conversation with two lovely invited persons. First of all, Ms. Siri Hibler, that's CEO at Analytics 2050. Ms. Siri, could you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, hi. Hi, everyone. I am Siri Hibbler. I am located in Chicago, Illinois. And yes, I am the founder of Analytics 2050. We launched in 2006. We're delighted to be here.
Great. And with us, have here Danielle Meseder. That's a Brazilian. Danielle, could you introduce yourself, please?
Sure. My name is Daniel Messeter. I am the COO at Falcom, Operations Director. And we are a data analytics company with more than 10 years of experience. We have operations here in Salvador, Brazil, and also in Sao Paulo. And I'm very excited to share my experience here with you guys today.
Great. Daniel, as you are already on the screen, could you tell us in layman's terms, how can data boost business? Exactly. Sometimes it's not a clear thing for lots of people, and I'd like to hear from you exactly how can data boost business?
Awesome. No problem. Well, data is one of the most important assets for a company nowadays. With data, you can shift from an intuition-based decision-making process to a data-driven based intuition process. So in layman's terms, you can make better decisions, you make sound decisions. With that, you improve performance, you increase efficiency, you have better customer experience because you understand your customers better. You make products tailored to what exactly they need through the data that you have about your customers. You have more competitive advantage. So um, it's very bluntly speaking, your organization is smarter and more effective making better decisions with data, hence the term business intelligence, right? Which is directly related to data. Without business intelligence, you really can't process the data. So that's how I would define it in layman's terms.
Perfect. That's very clear. People say that data is the new oil, right? So it's the
Yes,
best
absolutely.
asset that the organization has. And Ms. Siri, do you think that the organizations already know how to use this asset to generate value? I think that everybody already know that should use data, but don't know how. Do you agree? Do you know that the problem now is how to use data and not if should use data?
I believe it's the how. It is definitely the how. I believe people do want to use data, but it's like, where do I start? Especially if I'm a small business. So, I don't really understand this new tool. And a lot of our major corporations do not understand it. They are getting more and more to understanding it. So it is the how. And you want to make sure that you're collecting data ethically and that you are using it for a purpose and that purpose certainly should be to engage your customers better and to see how you can change issues or processes within your organization and to see how you can just basically provide more opportunities for your company to grow revenue wise.
Exactly. And you are in this business for a long time. Analytics 2050 was founded in 2006, as you told us. And you before worked at IBM, right?
Yeah.
That's a benchmarking data industry. Do you think that in last 20 years, our industry, the use of data has improved? Organizations now know how to use data better, or not really? some companies, some organizations are using data very well, while others are not yet.
I don't believe. I believe companies are using the data. IBM kind of gotten over to data analytics a lot. They started using, they call Watson years ago, and so they got out of the manufacturing of computers, what used to be their own personal IBM computers, but now so that they're into analytics and trying to develop software, obtain software that can help the businesses to analyze their data. So with that said, I believe that a lot of the corporations now, they're familiar with the data, um, and they are using it more. I still believe that the marketing and advertising folks are still they're still new to it, right? And they're
Okay.
still looking at ways for them to measure their results of their advertising spend, which is why a lot of advertising agencies, they now have on their staff data analysts, because they have to provide this type of data to the corporations, especially into the marketing folks, to let them know how they got a return on their investment, right? So they no longer can just tell them, oh, well, you just increased calls by 50%. That's not good enough. So they really are providing more stringent data to show that ROI
Okay.
to those marketing executives who are spending millions of dollars. From the small business perspective, the small businesses are still rather lost on it, and but it truly is a great tool that can help them to scale up.
Perfect. There's a famous quote that says that I know that 50% of my marketing spending is a waste. I just don't know with half, with 50%. So you use data to try to find what's the part of the investment that really generates value and what's the part that is a waste, and stop doing that, right?
Right.
Myself and Monsieur, we are from marketing. We are marketing professionals too. And Daniel is a guy from the industry, from the technology industry. And you have participated of some projects in different industries like retail, health system, healthcare, and so on. So in your experience, what's the first step that an organization should do when they decide to start a journey in data-driven business?
That's question is for me. Okay, that's
Yeah.
actually a great question because I always recommend when people start talking about, hey, I need to understand data, I need a dashboard, I need a BI infrastructure in my company. I say, whoa, wait a minute. Do you have a strategy? What do you want with the data? What are your goals? What do you want to achieve? If you just think about gathering data and analyzing a bunch of data without a strategy, you're gonna you can start having what we call paralysis analysis. You're just analyzing a bunch of data. You're not going anywhere. So I would say the first step is to set a strategy with what you need, what you want, where you want to go, how you're going to get there. And then you can actually map out the data, extract the data, verify the data, see if the data is correct, and then start analyzing so that you can generate insights. So I always like to highlight that the first step is to have a plan, to have a strategy in place before moving forward into the data-driven journey.
When you don't know where you want to go, no direction makes sense, right? You should first of all set the destination, decide the strategy. That is very interesting.
Exactly.
Let me go deeper in that point. When we talk about tools and programs, after I decide what's the strategy, how can I implement this strategy really? Should I hire someone? Should I use a platform? What's the next step?
Well, there's not an easy way to answer this. It really depends on the situation, right? But the good news is that business intelligence and data analysis is really trending a lot. It's 80% of companies. Another interesting research done by Gartner last year. 80% of companies surveyed, from mid-sized to small companies to large companies, are using some kind of data analysis tool. So you have tools for big companies like, let's say, Tableau, ClickView, Power BI, right? And you have even Microsoft Excel for the small business, where Microsoft Excel has a pivot table function, which makes possible associative analysis, which is the basis of data analysis. And we're actually in a great era where there's something called self-service BI, that are technologies, even with the big ones that I mentioned, they have self-service plans and self-service features where you don't need to know about SQL data bank technologies. You don't need to have previous knowledge with data analytics. So it's democratization of analytics, something that I've been seeing myself actually working with this in my clients. So I would say that there's no exact tool. It depends on the scenario. But the good news is that there's certainly a tool that fits your need. Many tools, from free versions to open source to more complex and robust softwares. It's really a great time actually for business and analytics, and for someone to begin a data driven journey.
Great. When we talk about data analytics, many times people think that this is just for large organizations and organizations that are for profit. But, Monsieur, you run 11 business, you are serial entrepreneurs, and you also have some companies, some organizations that are non for profit. So you can say that data analytics is also for this kind of organizations, right? What social organization, for example, could expect to get as a return when they start using data analytics in their management, in their marketing, in the company as a whole, in the organization as a whole? What can they expect as a return?
Well, the data analytics is going to help enable the leaders to become more efficient and better leaders. So they'll know how to where they should streamline profit, streamline as far as in you know their costs and things like that. So with the data, they'll understand more of their customer base and how their company is engaging internally and externally when they use data analytics. I always tell people to my clients to start off with gathering information from your internal. Okay, internally and externally, you need to find out what the issues and opportunities are within your organization. Okay, so what issues do we have? Do we have some issues with diversity in our human resources, things like that? So you need to analyze each department and talk. So that means you're going to have conversations and ask the strategic questions that we help them to prepare to be able to analyze to come up with the issues and the opportunities within their organization. So once they do that, then they can just decide, okay, we're going to do qualitative or we're going to do quantitative, right? So you want to make sure again that you are staying within the ethics and purpose of collecting this data. You have to make sure too that you have provided your customers with the information and your terms and guidelines and things like that, what you're going to do with their data that you're collecting. Okay, customers need to, and that's something that small businesses kind of fall back on. They don't realize that you're collecting this data, but did you provide your customers with guidelines, terms, and conditions, right? Because they need to know what you're going to do with this data, and then you need to provide them with an opportunity to opt in or opt out of it, because otherwise you will find yourself in a little hot water with your ethics jurisdiction there, and the committees. So you want to, decide, once you figure out what issues that we possibly could be having after talking with your staff, each department, and so what opportunities do we have as well, right? Okay, now how are we going to collect this data? Is it going to be qualitative? Is it going to be quantitative? It is going to be collective. Now, because we want to do this, what tools do we have to use. So you necessarily don't have to just come to an analytics company. It's good to have that, those third parties, those consultants, because you're not going to know exactly all the questions you should be asking to gather the kind of data that you need to make uh, key and effective decisions for your company. Okay, and that's where the consultants come in, the analytics company. They can come in and bring more tools to you, for you to be able to get out of this, collecting this data collection, what you purpose to get out of it. Okay, so that's kind of what I've been doing for the past 2006. I can't remember how many years it's been. so
Uh,
so it's but I saw this trend going that way, being a marketing executive. So I kind of saw the trend for advertising and marketing going towards analytics. That again, when I used to spend out budgets of millions of dollars in advertising, from the corporate level, and the advertising agency would only tell us, okay, well, you got this percentage, that percentage in return on your investment. That's just not it. I mean, that's what we had to deal with back in the 80s, 90s, but now that we have this analytics tool, we can ask for more things, more detail, more data. Yes.
For sure. Daniel said that it's a good time to be in data analytics industry. And this is because this is not a local, regional, or national challenge and opportunity. This is a global opportunity. And
Right.
you, Ms. Siri, last year you hosted a Brazilian professional, myself, a Brazilian entrepreneur.
Yes.
And after that, you made a partnership with Brazilian companies. I am founder of Zygon. Daniel is founder of Falcon, two Brazilian companies. Tell us a little bit that why you have this global vision to create data analytics ecosystems of companies that work together to attend clients in different countries with people from different places.
Well, our world is getting smaller, right?
Yeah.
And it's just it's time, because that we spread our information and our knowledge. It's only going to make all of us better, every country better, every business within those countries better. Okay, by partnering and not being afraid to partner. So we want to we want to kind of show those folks that are with us, with all those three chambers I run, that it's okay to kind of spread out outside of your environment. Some people are afraid to go outside of their environment. You should not be afraid. You should think global. If you want to scale up your business, really want to scale up, you either want to take it as grow it as a visionary, or you want to just stay local. It just depends on you as an individual. There are local entrepreneurs, there are entrepreneurs that want to go statewide, there are some that want to go global. And so I just happen to be a visionary, and I like going global, and spreading our opportunities and our services and what we're offering to people across the world.
Great. Daniel, you work in the United States, right? I think you work for Intel in California, if
Mm-hmm.
I'm not wrong.
Yep. Semiconductor field. Yep.
Great. And you have already have already been part of different projects in Brazil and the United States. What do you think that's similar? The
Mm-hmm.
same kind of challenges and the same kind of solutions that you face it in both countries. And what do you think that is original from each country? This kind of
Mm-hmm.
project I just is more common in the United States, while these other are projects more common in Brazil.
Well, I would say that when I worked in Intel 2008 2009, we already had many tools for data analysis, forecasting tools, predictive analysis, actually pretty advanced forecasting tools that relied upon coding. It was really different. We didn't have Python or R back then. So I would say that the United States, we didn't we I didn't see the same culture, data-driven culture here. I think that we were a little bit behind, but now I think that we're almost equal. I think that it's a global trend. It's not just United States or Europe. In fact, when this same research I mentioned that said Gartner's research, 80% of companies, it's global, right? It's not just the United States or Europe. It's Brazil also. It's Argentina. Companies now understand that they need data, or else they lose money, or they're not efficient in their processes.
That's right.
So I think that when you compare both, back then there was more of a data-driven culture already established in the United States. Uh, Maybe because it is more advanced in several aspects, but now it's very. I mean, I think it's very equal. Well, from what I hear from my partners and my business partners, people that I know that work there, some Brazilian companies are actually more advanced, right? And are more, let's say, data analytics savvy. Especially startups here. I think that the mindset it's kind of a mindset toward winning, and the competition here maybe the scenario here is there's no comfort zone here. Not that there's comfort zone there, but I would say that what I'm seeing here in Brazil, it's really impressive, right? Not only in large companies, but also entrepreneurs that are beginning. I mean, we do projects for entrepreneurs that want to start a business, and they ask for BIs. Hey, I want to start day one with my BI, so I want to monitor my clients, I want to monitor my social media, and I want to know exactly what's going on. That's pretty amazing. I mean, I'm not sure that's something that I would see in the United States where I worked. I would see that in more larger companies.
Perfect. Interesting. We are finished. We're going to the end of our webinar. And I'd like to listen the final words from you. We talked today that to use data is important. Every company already knows that. Every organization know that. We said that this is not hard to start. You have to start thinking. The strategy is the first point, and after that, you decide the next steps. It may include some platforms, some people, some suppliers, data analytics specialized companies. And we said that ethics is fundamental. What final words could you say to our audience to help them to, again, give the first step to know why they should start now to use data and how they could do this in the first place, as the first step, as the first moment. If I want to do this now, why should I start this now at this moment, and how? Let's start now with Daniel Messeder.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, you have to start analyzing data, or else you're going to fall behind the competition. That's the number one thing. You got to rest assured your competitor is already analyzing data because he wants to win. It's a game, right? I mean, we're talking about businesses, and even in the nonprofit sector, right? You want to have efficiency, you want to have transparency. So there are a lot of benefits. We already talked about those benefits. So it's really a must-have nowadays. Back then, when we started working with BI, it was like a nice to have. It was like a luxury to have BI. Oh no, I have my transactional systems, I have my CRM, I have my ERP tool. But now people know how powerful data in your hands is. I mean, you can make informed decisions, quick decisions. You can save money. You can be more efficient. You can have an operations that's super efficient. But the secret to start is to start small, prioritize, focus on quick wins. You don't have to spend a bunch of money. Start small. You can even start with not spending any money. And then once you have one quick win, share that information with your stakeholders, your shareholders, your employees, your peers, so people can understand the benefit. And then you can actually encourage data-driven decisions. So I would say that starting small, prioritizing would be the number one tip for someone that wants to start. And I would say start tomorrow, or else you're going to fall behind your competition.
Perfect. Very good, Ms. Siri. The same question for you.
Well, I would tell everyone to, take a look at your hosting company, right? So if you are hosting with with a company that has analytics attached to it, you want to pay attention to that. You want to pay attention to how many visitors come to your website. And and you want to pay attention to how many folks are looking at your posts, your advertisements out there on social media. So you want to in your social media marketing, pay attention to all of that, because that's really letting you know how you're engaging with your target audience. Okay, are they receiving you? Basically, how are they receiving your message that you're putting out there? So you should be doing some type of social media marketing. You should have a website up there that's collecting data from the folks that are coming and visiting your website or searching for companies like yours. And you should know about your industry as well. Learn what's happening on the external end of your company. Know your industry. That is so critical. When you want to start collecting data, why do you want the data? What is it? What purpose is it going to serve? What opportunities is it going to present? You have to ask the questions. It's not just saying, "Oh, I'm collecting data." No, what is the purpose behind you collecting that data? Okay, so you need, as a CEO of your company, you're the leader. You must have a vision. What are you trying to do? And that's why, again, I go back to, it's important to talk to your departments. If you do not have any departments, it's like, okay, well, it's just you and a few people. You have to ask the question, well, what do we want to take this company? And how do we get there? Well, you need to find out what's really working within your organization. Is our website working? Is our digital marketing, advertising, is that working? Okay, so pay attention to those right now and start collecting that data. Okay, from the analytics that is already out there for you. Collect that and start analyzing that, and then you'll start to get a better understanding of how data analysis work.
Perfect. I love it. I love it. That I will repeat something that Mr. said a moment, that data empowers leaders. Right? When you use data, you can work better. You can increase the impact of your actions, because you can know what to do and what to avoid to do. So I think that is the idea that we want to share with you. I'd like to thank Miss Siri and Daniel. I love it to have this conversation. We'll have much more of this, and we are excited to help business, non-for-profit organizations, small business, mid-sized business, to use data to really work better, to really have a larger impact. So I'd like to thank you all. Thank you. And I will see you soon. I hope so. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you very much, you guys. It was a pleasure. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.